Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My message for Muslims is to improve themselves. It's the end of the year, the best time to kind of look back what you've achieved this past year. And I'm sure many of you have seen changes, but there's a lot of things we can improve, man. And the more you focus on yourself and the less you focus on the world, and I don't mean to just like let things go, but overemphasizing too much worldly affairs leads to depression because you feel like you have no control. And essentially you don't have a control, but you have a lot of control about your own simple day-to-day life. If you wake up early, if you go to a gym, if you eat healthy food, if you study, work, all those things are basically in your control. You can affect those things. So if you focus more on them, what will happen is your life will improve, meaning you will feel better about yourself just because your body will be more healthy. You will have more money, therefore you will have lower financial stress. You will be able to help more people because of your influence or your money or whatever. And this way you become important person in the community, which means people, you're not selfish, you're not thinking about yourself only, because basically anytime you want to influence just your family, imagine just your family, like your grandma, your sisters, brothers. Maybe they know you from childhood as like a quiet child, like I was very quiet and shy, and like a small Jan, and stuff like that. And to change from that person, become like Jan is now an entrepreneur and doing this, like it's a different Jan. And I'm still the same little boy, but I just have a different view on the world because I've been through a lot of life, and it's just influencing my own family is difficult, not to mention community, building a masjid, doing things like that. And anytime you focus on people outside of yourself, so you don't just look at yourself, but you look at like the community, you have to ask yourself, well, can I actually lead a community if I don't even know how to do Al-Fatiha in the Arabic? Or like I don't have tajweed, or I don't really understand fiqh. Like, can I actually even hold a conversation with people and know who's like wrong? At least like to a basic level. Like if those things are not there, then unfortunately that's not possible, right? Or can I organize things? Can I raise money? And what I'm saying here is the more you focus on yourself and developing your skills as a human being in all these areas, the more you become competent, meaning people will trust you. And you want to be someone who people rely on. If you just focus on those things like, hey, this is a problem in our community, but you're not doing anything about it, then I have no respect for you. Or if you're just complaining about politics, complaining about the ummah, do something, man. Stop complaining. Hate complainers. And yesterday, actually, I had a coffee. I was in Košice in Juma. It's the second biggest city. They have a beautiful masjid now, really cool now. And the whole masjid is because of one person said, like, here's the money. 15 years ago, if people would say like, hey, there's going to be amazing masjid in Slovakia, in eastern Slovakia, like what? People wouldn't even comprehend that. And now there is. I've met an entrepreneur there as well, who's a Muslim, and we had a chat for like 2 hours, and we discussed like what things we need here. We need a cemetery, we need a place where we can wash our dead Muslims, right? We don't have a graveyard, we don't have all these things, so there's a lot of work to do. And he said, Jan, you're the only one I can really talk about this, because we're thinking like, what's the solution, like immediately, and coming up with a plan, like how do we open up a butchery, how do we transport dead bodies, like whatever. And the other people just shut down. They say, that's impossible. No, that's impossible. And I know those kind of people. They told me many things like are impossible, and I've just heard it so many times. I'm just like, you're such a depressed individual. Like, come on, stop bringing down my mood. Like, people have ruled countries and companies, and you're telling me this one small thing is impossible? Oh, come on, man. Your mind is closed. You're too closed. You're closed. Shaitan got you. Everything around you in society was because somebody had an idea in their head and they implemented it in the dunya. That's all society is. Every building you see, somebody had idea about it in the head. So what's the problem here? You're just incompetent, but that doesn't mean that cannot be done. I just love love that energy. When somebody's a Muslim entrepreneur, we can do so much together because we need so many things here and everywhere in the world. Each individual is responsible for this deen, and Allah is gonna ask you, what did you do? Not what your sheikh did or your masjid, but what did you do for my deen? And that's how I view my role. Like, I'm always thinking about my death, and you know, if I'm standing in front of Allah and He's gonna say, you know, like, what did you do? I want to at least share, like, okay, I didn't do a lot, but here's something I did. But I don't want to be empty-handed, that I just said, oh, I went to pray and I did all my things. Okay, that's nice, but what did you do for the deen? Not yourself. You have to look at it also from the perspective, like, of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was, I think it was very early on, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a hadith which says that this deen will enter every household. And he said it early on. It wasn't in Medina, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but still, it was like every household. And now you see, there's a household, there are several households, many households in eastern Slovakia where the deen has entered. I'm in a small village in my wife's parents' house in Slovakia, and I've been praying here for 4 years already when I come. Can you imagine 1,400 years ago, people would imagine that in Central Europe some Slovak guys would be praying in Arabic, reciting the same words as our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, praying to the same Lord? Unthinkable. What a huge mission and vision he had. And it's not about the money, because we still talk about our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he wasn't like, he had many riches in terms of like the kingship, the kingdom, but he himself, he was very poor man. He left so many things that they continue to live on. That's what you want to do. You want to leave things in this dunya, that your money, you want to spend it all so that it lives on without you. And the ideas you developed or the things you started as projects, they continue to live without you. Subhanallah, imagine that. That's far more important than money. But unfortunately, you do need money for all these things to happen. And as I say, money is energy. So anyways, this is my point, my complete point, sorry for rambling, is focus on yourself, man. You're not good enough. I promise you're not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I have many flaws and mistakes I still need to work on. So just work on yourself, man, and stop worrying about other people. Stop talking about other people. Stop, obsessing over politics, local, global. Yeah, be informed, but that's about it. Like, just wake up sooner, go to the gym. Just those things. Just start slow. Start slow. Slowly build a habit, and then once you get into the other areas of your life, perhaps business and stuff, or a career, that's when you can start even dipping into those areas, because you have now become competent. You've proven to the world, like, hey, I am responsible, I can take care of people, and this is my resume. But if you start saying stuff, I'm just like, what did you do? And you did nothing in your life. I'm like, okay, your opinion doesn't matter, because you haven't done anything. You need to do something so people can kind of check you, and that's how you become relevant, right? Anyways, we need more Muslims to become relevant, because we need more influence in this world, and we need people to focus on the deen, not on this dunya. Anyways, that's about it. Jan Slovak Muslim, signing off from Eastern Slovakia, deep in the woods. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Happy 2025.